How is it going, you lovely lot? Welcome back to Tokyo Rising and a transfer special. Ahead of season number 5, we have a big step as a club to take as we are moving into J2. Yesterday, we wrapped up the league title with a bang. Today, to kick things off, we've got to do a little run through of the squad. But before all of that, we've moved stadiums. Yes, for the upcoming year, we're going to be playing at the Komazawa Olympic Park Stadium. We actually played here a couple of years ago for 1 year. Then last year in J3, we were back in our regular stadium. And now, we've seemingly just moved back into it. It doesn't say anything about this being a temporary stadium move. Then again, I didn't even get an inbox item. So I don't know what's going on, but I think we have a new home. Anyway, speaking of rehoming things, we've got some players to rehome. I need to get rid of some players during this off-season, if not for a financial benefit, just for keeping the overall balance of the squad there. This year, we did have to wrestle a little bit with player status within the squad. Players wanting more football than they were necessarily deserving of. And of course, this year, there's some money to make some moves happen. Our wage budget has gone up by about, 40%? It's gone all the way up now to £25,000. We're only spending £15,000 of that. And of course, we do have kind of a hefty transfer budget, although saying that, as you can see here, we did spend £3 million last episode. Of course, we had to upgrade our facilities and then we reinstated our youth facilities and youth recruitment ahead of the new year. Anyway, the date is the 1st of January in game. I'm already getting bids on my players that I'm rejecting because these are the players I don't want to get. We have had our youth intake preview too, where it's an E in literally everything. And we've also had a couple of new players join us. We're going to run the intro, jump straight into the action. I hope you're ready. Buckle up. It's going to be an eventful transfer special, I think. Today, by the way, is episode number 32 of Tokyo Rising. Thank you for coming back for the ride, as always. I hope you guys are still enjoying this series. This step up this coming year is going to be a rather big one. J2, J1. I feel like is where things start to get super serious in Japan. I'm hoping we're going to get a lot more money because we're going to need a lot more money to challenge with those teams around us. Now, as I already alluded to, the transfer window has literally just opened. It's the 1st of January. We haven't had the season tick-over date happen just yet, but the first of a couple of pre-season signings already agreed has gone through, and that man is Daisuke Ono. This guy is 18, and I really like the look of him. We're paying him £800 a week for the next 3 years. We picked him up for £40,000, and I'm going to hope that he is the left-back that we have craved for the last few years. I am already having to train him at left-back because, well, he can't actually play there yet. But at least compared to Numata, who I've already relegated down to the B team, I've kind of treated the B team as a dumping ground, it's safe to say Ono is just a quite significant upgrade. The other man whose signature we've already secured is Hattori. This guy is more of a squad player. The 17-year-old is going to train with the B team. Speaking of which, as I've already mentioned, I'm kind of dumping players in the B team. A few players here are players who are currently in on loan until the end of the current season. Of course, in Japan, loans don't end until the end of January for the year that we've just completed. So these guys are around for another month. And elsewhere, there's just other players like Jun Nakajima who realistically are not good enough for this football club. The vast majority of these players have contracts expiring at the end of next year, so if I can't sell them this summer transfer window, we'll just let them go at the end of next year. Of course, in an ideal world, we try and get a bit of cash for these players, and I guess when you look through these players, there are some familiar players, perhaps the most notable being club captain Sauer. He has now been at the club for the full 4 years of our entire save game. Didn't actually play a game in J3 this year, has just been chilling with the reserves. He will be leaving the club at the end of his current contract in the month. Now, some other good news. Yamada, who I wasn't sure if we were going to get back on loan or not, has returned on loan. You might have noticed a little bit of an influx in money on the finances screen. That was because of the £650,000 sale, only just going through. But this guy is headed to Zelvia in J2, who have immediately loaned him back to us. And as you can see here, he is back on loan until... wait, is that until the end of the... I thought he was here until... Okay, he's only here to the end of the current month. I thought I had him for this year. I don't have him for the season. Okay, well, you know what? He was in my blocked out 11. For some reason, I thought his loan was going to last until 2029. No, he leaves in a month. Anyway, the team that you can see on screen here is kind of my blocked out starting 11. I feel like when it comes to our attackers, I really like Batata, Omarov, and Takagi as a lineup. If some crazy world-class goal-scoring striker is out there, and by world-class, I mean good for our current division, and I have the option to buy them, I probably would pull the trigger on that deal, but at least immediately right now going into the transfer window, the attacking department I think is the area I am most happy with. In the defence, we've already brought Ono in at left back. Of course, our two centre-back options are going to be Ataki and Yoshida. Two younger players, it has to be said, who have shown a little bit of promise. Then again, centre-back is one of those areas where, again, if the right player shows up, I probably would go after them. Takeshi right now is our only backup centre-back option. Of course, Rio, who's currently at the club, is only here on loan. We sold him for £120,000 last year. He joined us on loan for the year. He is definitely leaving in the month. Of course, at right back, we do have Mitsuhashi as an option, but I need a better option out there. Depth is going to be needed at the back. A couple of centre-backs, potentially a new backup left back as well. And as for the midfield, there's a gap to fulfill, isn't there, in the centre with the advanced playmaker. Yoniyama is a man who could potentially step up and end up playing there for us. If we compare him with Yamada, he definitely is a better player from a creativity point of view, but I do have some concerns about his physicals. And the other position I think I've earmarked as a, let's try and improve this, is the right midfielder spot. We lack depth here anyway. Kumori is currently the player that has been playing there for the year just gone, but he just really hasn't advanced over the course of the last year. I'd like to keep Kumori around as a depth player. Of course, Matsushita, who was previously our depth player, we sold in the summer, loaned back to the end of the year. So like a load of players who are currently in on loan, who were formerly our players, he leaves at the end of January. So looking at the team right now, we have a first team of 19 players. The defence is the obvious area to shore things up. An advanced playmaker would be nice. The depth in the centre of the midfield, I kind of like. The depth in the wide areas of the midfield, I'm not too upset with, at least on the left-hand side. But yeah, there's definitely maybe 6 or 7 signings we need to make. Now, I don't think I'm going to go too crazy signing players until we get the season tick-over day. I need that update in reputation. Given the fact the transfer window has just opened, I've made it a mission to try and get rid of a load of players that are currently in the B team, those squad players. So they've all been offered out. Not really looking to get a load of money for them, although every little would help. Of course, there's a handful of players also leaving when their contracts expire. Have also just noticed here, I have a load of staff with contracts expiring. Let me sort this. Okay, staff contracts dealt with. We are very much approaching, by the way, the start of the new season. It is drawing near. Ourselves, Hollyhock and Catalere going up. Relegated, Verdi, Venfere Kofu. I have a soft spot for this team. They are the team that I keep going on about as this great underdog story because they made it to the Champions League once as a second division team. They have been promoted and relegated the last 4 years in a row. They've just been relegated back down. They're managerless at the moment. Obviously, not going to apply for the job, but yeah, they'll be a fun team to play. And the other team that's gone down is Albirex Niigata, which, if I'm not mistaken, are they the team that have an affiliate club which play in Singapore? Is that right? Yeah, there is just an Albirex Singapore team. Their stadium's not quite as impressive as the Japanese club. I just saw their key player was Singaporean and I got curious. He's not very good. People keep telling me to check the other Southeast Asian nations for players because some of them aren't treated as foreign, and I think both Thailand and Singapore, they're non-foreign players if you sign them from here. I mean, is there anyone any good? Tan Teng Yang. I'm underwhelmed. I mean, this right back's good, but I don't have £6 million. He's very good, isn't he? 19! And as for Thailand, if you are playing just the base Football Manager database, you don't have the Thai leagues active. Makes it a lot easier to sign players from Thailand. With this save game, I have got Thailand fully added as a nation. They've got very good players in this universe. They've got some serious talent. The also kind of sad knock-on effect of the fact that I've got Thailand active is Thai players just don't want to come to the 3rd division of Japan, or even the 2nd division, really. The random Brazilian intermediary suggestions continue. Wigoli. I mean, it's a great name, isn't it? It's a shame he's not a great player. I kind of want to sign him just for the Wigoli commentary. I don't know what Wigoli puns there are. There's definitely some out there. He's not good enough, is he? Okay, we have started to get some offers of players that I wanted to sell. Nakajima, £3,000. Like, it's not a load of money. I'm going to accept these offers. He is not good enough, really, for a J3 club. And another man who I wasn't really planning on selling, but was in our B team, is Toyoshima. We signed this 20-year-old on a free transfer as a depth option. Didn't really play for us. He signed as a freebie. Got an offer of £54,000 here. He says he's not interested. I'm going to try and convince him that this is a good move. It could work for you. Look, he doesn't like it. Well, you know what? I'm going to accept this bid anyway. And, well, no, actually, we'll negotiate a little bit. But I'm going to accept this bid anyway. Hopefully he moves on. If not, hopefully Renoffer, who he wants to move to, also decide to make a bid. Also, I'm fully aware the bid that I've just accepted is below his value. I don't think anyone is going to bid the valuation of this player. He's just not that good, is he? Oh, Suka has also had a bid. He has no interest in moving, mate. You really need to move. I'm just going to accept the bid and hope he changes his mind. I'll try and persuade him first. Okay, he definitely doesn't want to go to them. He's off now. Bye. guy. I'm going to accept the bid anyway. I hope I'm not fighting a losing battle when it comes to getting rid of these squad players. I mean, ultimately, none of them are on too crazy wages. In fact, the player who's on the most money in the B team is Aoki, who is on that contract we gave him when we were in the non-leagues. He's still here, by the way, the 27-year-old, for another month. No one wants to sign him either. Worst case, we're just stuck with the players for a year. I can live with it. Looking through players that my scouts have been looking at, there is a guy here, Okamura, who I've had on my radar for a little bit, but he had no interest in joining me prior. 17 years old. As a fourth striker in our team, this guy could be very good. I have a sneaking suspicion he's not going to want to be the fourth striker, because that was kind of Matsushita's role last year. Safe to say here, Hitoshi is a lot better than that, isn't he? This guy's 17. I'm going to make a bid of £130,000. They are going to want a little more than that. His valuation is £170,000. If we can get him for around that, I feel like that will be a good deal for the youngster. That bid's now been accepted. I'm going to hope he doesn't have an outrageous squad status demand, because I really like the look of this guy. There was another 18-year-old who my scouts rate really highly. It's a centre-back. Azumi here is 18. He has 7 jumping reach and 9 heading. I don't love him enough also. There is already a load of teams who have already made bids on him. It's crazy how quickly kind of J3 and JFL teams seem to snap up the young talent. In fact, I was looking at this earlier. The Media Dream 11 for the J3 League. You can see here, Trinita have Kawano here, who's a left-back option who looks rather good. They have another 18-year-old here, Trinita, who looks very, very good. Sadly, he is, I was going to say he's out of our budget. He might actually be in our budget. I'm not sure if we could afford him. I'm going to make a bid and see. I feel like there's no way he's actually going to want to negotiate with me, is there? I mean, I'm going to try and get a deal done. £250,000 they've rejected. I mean, I like the look of this guy, but there's already big clubs interested. There's already big bids on the table. We have offered more than Vivaran, though. I mean, knowing my luck, he's not going to be interested anyway. He'd be a very good centre-back option, mind you. Just to circle back to the original point, though, Trinita have a load of these 18-year-olds, but across the whole Media Dream 11, you'll see a load of these younger, really talented players. In fact, you can see here, Sagan Tosu, who are right down towards the bottom of the table, have one of the best strikers in the division, who's 18 years old. It is actually impressive how good the AI is at identifying some of the good university talent and signing them up. It's a shame that with Trinita, who have 4 players in the Media Dream 11, they have just been relegated. So they might be able to identify talent, doesn't mean they are actually able to utilise it. Okay, my bid for Okamura has been accepted. He wants to be an important player, and he also wants to treat the club as a stepping stone. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to try and lower his status to regular starter. That might be a little bit of a white lie, but I feel like I can deal with it. He wants a yearly wage rise of 10%, and do not like that. I am actually happy to give him a top promotional wage rise of 30%. That seems fair. I kind of want to try and sneak in an optional contract extension of a few years. I'll give him a slightly bigger signing on bonus and a slightly higher wage kind of total. I feel like this guy is actually that good. I can't believe I'm saying it. £1,000 would feel like a really good deal. Can you please just accept £1,000 a week? He can. I did say I didn't necessarily need a striker, but this guy's very good, isn't he? 17. Even if he doesn't have that much potential, what you've got here is a very, very good player. If we just compare him with someone like Omarov, who has, of course, been one of our standout players this year, he's a different dimension of player. He's very good from a creativity point of view. That might be something we need, especially if we are going to be without our kind of advanced playmaker that we've been very reliant on the last few years. I've had an offer here for Mitsuhashi at right back. Part of me wants to keep Mitsuhashi around for the memories. Is that a bad reason to keep a player around? Potentially. It's £50,000 and he actually wants to go to them. He is our club record appearance holder. You know what, I'm going to keep him as a backup. I don't want to lose him. I'm being all soppy and sentimental. It's time for our daily intermediary suggestion of a Brazilian. Paulo Victor here. He's not good. He's quite bad, actually. I did have my £300,000 offer accepted for the centre-back that plays for Trinita. This guy's very good, isn't he? I think he is listed as their key player. Annoyingly, he has no interest in negotiating with us. So that's where we're at. We can't even sign players from teams in the same division as us who literally just got relegated. What a depressing state of affairs. And a bad day gets worse. Otsuka has turned down Tayamo. I guess he's just going to chill in the B team for the year then. I can't believe I'm saying this. We might have a good intermediary suggestion. Lucas Ferreira, 21 years old, plays for Sao Paulo in Brazil, has played twice for their first team over the course of his 7-year career there. This guy is an advanced playmaker. How does he compare with Yamada? I've mentioned the fact we have to replace Yamada. Is he the replacement? I'll tell you what, he probably is a straight upgrade everywhere. He's available for £2,500, and he's got on wages between about 475 and 650. There is a risk that he'll want a release clause. I like the look of this guy. For 2,000 quid, yes please. Right now I have got 3 foreign players in our team. We've got Omarov, then we've of course got Batata and Deniz. We've got the Brazilian contingent emerging. In J3 we're allowed a maximum of 4 foreign players. Does that rule change in J2? I'm really hoping it does. It says maximum of 4 registered foreign players. I mean, we can definitely sign him then. I was just wondering, how good are the best players in J2? Can they be that good? This guy, Hirasawa, is apparently the best player in the division. The 25-year-old, to be fair, is very, very good. Sato here is another goalkeeper. Bloody hell, he's big, isn't he? He's really... Look at his aerial reach and eccentricity and communication. Don't ask him to stop a shot, and he's a great goalkeeper. Noniyama as well. 18 years old, this guy. They signed him from a high school for £500,000. Nagoya Grampus have got a bargain there. He's terrifying. I'm looking through these players and I'm beginning to realise we've got quite a big step up this coming year. Yeah, there's good players here. If you want to prepare for that step up, someone like Ferreira would be a good player to get. I really like the look of this guy. He's currently unhappy at his current club. He wants to be an attacking centre mid as an advanced playmaker. I can't promise him that. I'm going to try and lower his squad status as well. He has included some release clauses here. You know what? I'll keep the relegation release clause in and I'll lower it to £100,000 because I'm a man of the people. I feel like we should be able to stay up this year. I'm going to remove the yearly wage rise. His actual wage demands really aren't that outrageous, to the point where I'm going to up them slightly purely to try and get him on an optional 2-year extension that would mean that we can assign him to a 5-year deal once he joins us. There's a lot to like about this guy, isn't there? And I'll tell you what I like about him even more. He's just accepted that offer with no negotiations. You might argue you've overpaid there. I do not care. Lucas Ferreira, come on down. I feel like maybe I should just be scouting the rest of their team now. Maybe they've got more good players here. Turns out they don't have more good players. So that is off the table. Good news, though. Reputation is on the rise. Sponsorship tables, we were bottom of. Although our sponsorship earning was £400,000. That's a lot better than previous years. Staff are all signing new contracts as well. So, yeah, good to get that sorted. Imagine if I'd forgotten to renew staff contracts. Could have been a disaster. Every time I look at kind of scout reports and stuff, there's always new players appearing. There is now another high schooler with 4-star ability. He's not as good as I thought he was going to be. Fukushima, good player, not great. If I compare him with Okamura, who we've already made an offer for, am I right in thinking that you'd go for Okamura? I mean, let me know. Answers on a postcard. Who do you think is better? 17 years old versus 18 years old. According to our scouts, Shunki here is the better option. Maybe that's just down to the fact he's got a funky first name. Shunki's a fun name, isn't it? But no, I think Okamura is better. I feel like maybe that's a matter of opinion, but I think for a striker, his attributes just suit him a little bit more. J3 signings of the season. We had the top 2, Omarov and Batata, right up there. I mean, when you look at their average ratings, when you look at their goals scored, yeah, safe to say they were good players. Joined us for a combined £3,800. Good transfers. We are going to receive £803,000 just for turning up in J2. I mean, that's very generous, isn't it? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The J-League Cup draw has happened. We've been drawn against Nankatsu. The old rivals, they're back. I don't know if we'll end up doing that in an episode, but the fact we get to play them is going to be fun. They were last year, by the way, just promoted up to J3, so they are still on the rise too. The board suggested that we give scouts more wages. I've said that's a bloody great idea. Let's do that. We don't actually have any spots for more scouts, so I'm going to ask for more scouts now. And I have also just noticed the season has updated. We are now officially a J2 side, which is rather exciting. Where is our media prediction is my first worry. The answer is 19th. I mean, there is 20 teams in the division, so that doesn't reflect well. I was hoping when I go into the season preview screen here, it might be better. No, we're down in 18th. I've just remembered something. I'm signing Okamura, right, at the moment, or trying to get him signed. I've already agreed to sign Hashizume as well. Do I need both of these? I mean, I probably don't, but I feel like I might just sign them both. Hashizume's got a fun name, haven't they? Yeah, you know what? I can play him at right midfielder if I need to. I mean, granted, he can't actually play right midfielder yet, but I feel like he can do the business there. I want to compare him actually really quick to Kayanoki. I didn't realise our left midfielder was so bad. I feel like I should be getting a new left midfielder as well. Hashizume will play right mid, I've decided. I mean, Sakurai is our other left midfield option. Is he better than Kayanoki? I mean, you could probably argue he is, couldn't you? I know he doesn't quite have the physicals, but everything else I think he has the edge in. Maybe I need a new left midfielder as well. Have also just remembered, I'm going to remove Noda from the goalkeeping position because we've got a new goalkeeper coming, haven't we? We've got Nakano arriving, who I really, really like the look of. Yeah, I probably should have reminded myself of the transfers that are going on before I started recording a transfer special, shouldn't I? Our scouting budget is £108,000. Why have we not got it on the whole of East Asia? That's what I'm wondering right now. Tell me about the world. Need a right back, sorted by world reputation. There's 3 options here that all have really high world reputation and are all Japanese. Are any of them any good? I mean, Morishita here is not actually that bad. Morishita's quite good. I mean, definitely an upgrade on our current right back option, but I'm actually wondering if Royoya here is a player who I could bring in as a depth player, if he'd be willing to come in to be more of a backup. He has got international cap, so he might be a bit big for his boots. Can't afford him. The other right back option is Kishimoto. This is why you can't just use world reputation to judge players. He is cack. I'm looking at right backs we've got scouted. I thought we'd find a right back by now. Even the best player here, I don't really love the look of. I'm going to create a new recruitment focus here. I'm looking for a permanent transfer, someone who is going to be able to play right back and hopefully be a little bit promising at least for the future. This is, by the way, the absolute top priority. If there's a position we need to solve, it's right back, because I don't even really have depth there. I've sent my scouts out looking for kind of younger players in Japan. This has actually been one of our most productive ways about finding players. I have also been scouting J2. I suppose the issue here is if I go to interested in transfer, a lot of them have no interest in actually moving to us. Another position where we definitely need to add at least a little bit of depth is going to be at centre-back. So I'm going to add this as a recruitment focus too. And wingers. Wingers we need as well. There's lots of things we need, really, isn't there? I've just realised something. Ardija, who are our affiliate that I made in the very first year, we got them as an affiliate and I've kind of forgotten about them. They now play in the J3 and we play in the J2. So we're in a league above our affiliate. I feel like this affiliation is about to get cancelled. If it doesn't get cancelled, it's a bug. But yeah, I can loan players from them. Their key player, by the way, here is Mayano. He's very good, isn't he? He's on £2,000 a week. He is very good, though. I can't afford his wages, can I? Also, there's J1 teams interested. Raysol have made a bid of 600,000. I can't afford that. This was the striker, by the way, for a team just relegated from the division we've gone into. I feel like J2 is going to be scary. Good to see this, by the way. Average attendance up by 1,200 people for the year just gone. Hopefully that is going to continue to rise. I've had an offer here for Yoshida from Sony. I'll tell you what, you're going to have to offer more than that for me to consider selling him. If they'd offered me £105,000 and a PlayStation, I might have considered it. We're also going to receive £500,000 in J2 TV rights. Is it just me, or is the money at this level significantly better than at J1? That is absolutely wild. To start the year, by the way, we've got YSCC. It's our first game. Is that actually their name, YSCC? What does it stand for? We may never know. I have also noticed our next opponent in Matsumoto Yamaga are, well, formerly a J1 team. They're actually quite a big club, one of the best supported teams in real life that play down in J3, if I'm not mistaken. They were promoted just the year before us. Their key man is Katayama. That should be a fun early away day. I feel like they're the kind of team that we need to hope we can beat early on in the season to really set, I don't know, a precedent for the fact that we are going to be competitive in this division. Jun Nakajima is leaving the building to join Honda, and elsewhere Takagi has just signed a brand spanking new contract. £600 a week for this man is a lot of money to be offering him. It's a 4-year deal with an optional 3-year extension. Essentially, he's going to be here till 2035 if we want him to be. The 22-year-old has been a key part of our team. Kind of happy to lock him down, even if it just ends up being that he's more of a squad player in the longer term. Suspect this might happen. Toyoshima, one of a number of the B team players who wasn't overly happy about moving on, he has rejected a contract offer And elsewhere, talking about rejection, no, not my love life, Aoki, our president, has turned down our request for more scouts. Please let me have more scouts. I can't stress how important this is. I'll tell you what, I bloody love Kanto Aoki. Shout out to the president. We're now allowed 6 scouts. I was hoping it might be 7, but you know what? 1 more scout's useful. Definitely noticing as well an improvement in the overall quality of staff we can sign. Watanabe here is the man who I'm going to bring in to be a scout. Doesn't have the best adaptability, but we won't be sending him to abroad. But his actual judging ability and potential is way better than some of the other kind of scouts we already have at the club. Did mention already the need to really strengthen the defence with a little bit of depth. There's actually some really highly scouted players here that are, well, highly rated by our staff. The first is Mochizuki, 18 years old, 14 jumping reach for a Japanese centre-back is really, really good. He is 18 years old. He's currently earning £1 a week. He wants £800 a week and wants to be a really noteworthy player. You know what? He's good. I don't feel like he's that good, at least compared to our current options. The other centre-back I noticed at the top of this list is Takeda here. Now, interesting to note, Takeda is actually loan listed. He's a super consistent player. Doesn't have the craziest jumping reach or aerial ability, but very, very good from a defensive point of view and not slow either. I wonder if I can get him on loan for the year. Could I get him on loan for more than a year? End of next year? Just as a regular starter? Would they go for something like this? They want him to be an important player. What if I put non-selected for preferred role? How does that sound? They really want him to play as a no-nonsense centre-back. I have noticed here, I've not put in a can-be-recalled option. So even if I play him in a different role, they can get annoyed. They're not going to be able to do anything about it. I'm just going to accept those demands. I feel like that's a 200 IQ play. I did wonder if we should sign this guy. Then I saw his valuation. But given... well, the fact he's loan listed, it'd be silly not to sign him, even just to be a more depth option. Interesting to note as well, he is actually listed as the university's key player, so quite why they want to loan him out, I don't really understand, to be honest. One thing I've not done in a little while, but I actually really recommend doing this if you're playing this Japan database yourself, and that is going through all the different university leagues, going to the season preview tab, and then just looking at some of these top-rated players. There's some very, very good players out there. Many of these I do actually just manually scout during the year. For like some of these players, though, are good enough for kind of a J2, J3 team, and given the fact that they are playing, obviously down at university level, some of them are willing to make the move. There's a guy here who looks quite good. In this instance, he does want over £1,000 a week, so probably not a realistic signing for us, Mbachi here. But yeah, it gives you an idea that there is some real quality. It's always worth just having a little nosy around, I think, the university teams, just seeing what's up. And even if you just scout a handful of players to keep them on your radar, I think it's worth doing. I'm spending longer than I want to admit going through these players. This guy's very good, isn't he? I say that, we don't need more strikers. I'm going to scout him anyway. Mago, any good? No. Mago, by the way, his polygon made me think of right backs. I really should be looking for a right back. Instead, I'm just looking for all the university teams, because that's what I do here. 20-year-old Urata here looks really, really good. He's not actually earning any money as a university player right now. He's actually phenomenal, isn't he? He could be our left midfield option. If Kayanoki could actually do stuff with the football, he would be Urata here. 85 to 850,000 pounds a week is a massive range here. What kind of money are they going to want? Of course, we've got £2 million to spend, so I could go big on a player. Maybe I should have negotiated that a little bit more. Knowing my luck, his wage demands are going to be way too high anyway. I'm going to get a scout report on Urata and see what he's asking for. Fujita is the other player who plays the exact same university as him. This guy's already got a bid from another J2 team at the end of his current contract. Wait, can we sign this guy too? No. Okay, he doesn't even want to join us. Okay, our loan offer for Takeda has been accepted, which is great, and our bid for Urata was accepted. He has no interest in contract talks. He'd rather move and play in South Korea. I, for one, am offended. I signed Watanabe last year to be a depth player for us. He didn't really play that much, but that was just because we didn't have injuries at the back and Denise, to be honest, just didn't really put a foot wrong. But I feel like we still need Watanabe as an option. I've had a bid here, but it's just not enough. Not for a player that I don't feel like I need to sell. Lucas Ferreira is joining us. £3,000 for the Brazilian advanced playmaker. He probably is, at least on paper, an upgrade on Yamada as well. That is one of those big gaps in the team that was going to be left by a departure filled now. Yeah, Yamada leaving the building, the 19-year-old, scum, traitor, etc. Lucas, Welcome on down, my friend. I am going to need to get him a face, aren't I? Yeah, we need to find his face. That seems like a really normal sentence, doesn't it, in the grand scheme of things? That is until you realise this bloke is 17 years old in real life. Then it's a bit dodge. Talked about the idea of replacing Kayanoki at left mid. I didn't really realise how bad he was until we just looked at him. Apparently, Honda are interested in him for £200,000. If they were to bid close to that, I'd probably seriously consider it. He's inconsistent. He doesn't like important matches. I have also got Koshimichi here, who I think can be a depth left midfield option for us. I feel like left mid and right mid now is the areas to consider. I guess Hashizume could be the right mid option. We'll have to train him to play there. Yeah, left mid needed. There are a lot of left midfield options here that I've got scouted that maybe are serviceable options. None of them wow me. Okay, Hitoshi Okamura is going to join us. I'm actually going to sign this guy, 17 years old. Really, really like the look of him. It's another striker that I know I don't necessarily need, but this guy for a 17-year-old for the kind of price he's available, it's too good to pass up on, isn't it? I am considering if I train him to play at centre mid. He can already play centre attacking mid. If I train him to play centre mid as an advanced playmaker on support, I'll tell you what, he really does tick a lot of the boxes, and where he lacks in his dribbling and first touch, we can address both of them by just training his ball control as well. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to train him as a centre mid. I'm also going to train him as a roaming playmaker just to try and get him as well-rounded as possible. Maybe just help out slightly with stuff like his positioning. Whether or not I'd use him at centre mid, I guess, is a different kind of proposition. And if I didn't have a load of depth ahead of him in the striking area, probably wouldn't train him in a new area. But I feel like he could fill a little bit of a gap in the team there. We are blessed with an abundance of strikers, and it would just offer him another route to get some first-team football if he can play centre mid. Now, if you were wondering, our first J2 game of the year is in the 19th of February, so that is really not that far away. It's a bit similar to last year, where it feels like from J3 upwards, you do start playing league games that little bit earlier in the year compared to, well, our first few seasons. It's also worth noting that the transfers that I've got scheduled, the freebies like Nakano, who are joining at the end of their current contracts, don't join until the start of February, so they're going to have a very short period of time to get up to speed with the team and our tactics. I've noticed here I have the ability to sell on my Tsuyuki clause. Now, we sold him for £65,000, but with a 50% of any profit. He does look good, this guy, but he's only got a year left on his current deal. I feel like there's a chance they could end up releasing the 20-year-old, because I don't necessarily feel like he's ever going to be good enough for J1. So with that in mind, I'm going to sell this clause 115 or 114, if you want to be really precise, £1,000. That, you know what, that's pretty healthy money, I think, to receive for him. I didn't know this was a thing. University teams can't loan out players to professional football clubs. Takeda, who I really wanted to sign as a backup centre-back, has had his loan cancelled because they can't have more than 0 players out on loan in one season. Brilliant. Brilliant. I wish I knew the rules. I want to be like, don't worry, I've got another signing lined up anyway. It's Watanabe, the scout. That's the signing that can be confirmed. It's not quite as exciting, is it, as the idea of getting Takeda on a free loan. I mean, what it does mean is I don't have any centre-backs lined up. And when I look at our team and I highlight the players that can play any defensive position, there is 6 players. It's not great, is it? I've sorted right-backs by value. There's a load of players in China that want to join me as right-back options. Yuan Ming is really, really bad. Why would I ever sign this bloke? Yao Ming, really bad. I thought the Chinese players might be good. They're actually awful, aren't they? I'm now looking at left midfielders that are not Japanese, that are aged at most 21 with at least one under 21 cap, just in case any of these guys are good. I mean, a North Korean regen would have been fun. This guy, not the kind of player we're looking for. You might call me desperate. I'm just scouting the entire North Korean under-23 squad. I'll also scout the under-18s while we're here in the under-20s. Why not? They might have some good players. This might be my first time ever playing Football Manager, where I've set up the search filters in such a way I'm getting recommended players from Macau. Yeah, this guy has 17 caps. Macau's, they're not good at football, are they, over in Macau? I mean, there is a Bangladeshi centre mid. This guy actually has a face in our face pack. He must be, I was going to say he must be quite good. He plays not in the top division of Bangladesh, according to things here, although Football Manager can be weird with these kind of players. He doesn't look awful. He's not what I need. I've talked about the need for a right back forever. How about the Hong Kong national team right back? He's not the solution to our problem either, is he? What about just players in the Hong Kong national team? Is there anyone good here? Mok Pak Ho. That's literally the guy I've just looked at. I'm just amazed there's so many players from Macau just showing up as wanting to sign for us. Mental. None of them are any good, mind you. I was today years old when I discovered there is an Afghanistani football club called Attack Energy SC. I mean, imagine if they like defensive football. Have a sneaking suspicion that looking beyond Japan, as lovely as it is as an idea, it isn't necessarily producing the best results, is it? I don't want to tell you how long I've just spent looking through random national teams there. I think my best approach of action here is to just keep doing a little bit of manual scouting within Japan and then just actually seeing what the scouts throw up with our recruitment focuses. I'm hoping they're going to find some centre-backs and stuff. I did ask them, didn't I, my scouts, to find a right mid or left mid. There is one scout in progress, and it's for a guy in Korea, South Korea that is, and it's this guy. Why am I paying scouts to go look at a reserve player for a K2 side? I am starting to get a little bit paranoid about the fact the season starts in a month's time. I feel like we have a team that can maybe be serviceable if it had to be serviceable to start the year, but the defence especially needs reinforcements. And yet the issue I have here is whenever I come to my scouting recommendations, whilst there are defenders in there, there's just always more attractive striking options. I don't need more strikers. Let's not do this. I'm trying to find the positives. I think the positives are we have Lucas Ferreira as an advanced playmaker option. Ono's joined us at left back, although that deal was done. And Okamura here, whilst he's not a cheap transfer and he is maybe more of a luxury signing, I feel like for £170,000, it's a very good deal. We've hit the point now where I'm no longer looking at university teams. Instead, I'm looking at high school teams. Yeah, the desperation to find some good players is a little bit real. This guy's good. 18 years old. My scouts have looked at this guy and rated his potential highly. He's got good jumping reach. I mean, I need depth centre-backs. Does he want to join me? Do you want to join me? He wants to be a breakthrough prospect. I feel like if I approach him by the way I just did then, I have to pay compensation. Let's try making a bid. I might have found a guy. I mean, it's £100,000. It's not cheap. Obviously, as with all signings, before I confirm any kind of signing, I will scout him further. Maybe high school teams is just where it's at. I'll tell you what, there are some awful sound bites, isn't there, you can take from these videos where I'm managing in Japan. But, let's be real, there's some very good players here. The annoying thing is, the good players are getting spotted and are getting snapped up by teams. So I have to be quick here. It's another young striker. I don't need him. I'm going to scout him anyway. He might be good. I mean, Seki here is a left midfield option. The bloke can run. He really can't do a lot else, mind you. There's a lot of these young players, isn't there? They have crazy physicals, then you look at everything else and go, yeah, for a non-league team, great. For us, less great. Thought I'd maybe found a good player. No, he's already joining Reliak, the team that were playing in our division last year. That's annoying. He's actually decent. Otter here is absolutely phenomenal, isn't he? You could say he's utterly great. I miss the Otter puns. He's already joining Jeff United. I can't sign him even if I wanted to. Okay, this guy's good. He's capped at Japan's under-23s level. He's 18. My scouts have already looked at him. He's not been shown up in any of my searches, so I can only assume he has no interest in joining me. He's absolutely mad. If he leaves his current club at the end of this month on a free, I need to sign him, don't I? There's no way he's ever going to want to join me, though. He would be a very good right back. I mean, even Kojima here looks very, very good. 18 years old. He is a centre mid. I'm looking at him thinking, right back? Is that a terrible idea? I feel like now at this point, I want to compare him to my current right back. I can't do that because they don't play the same positions. This is my high-tech solution to compare the players. I just mash back and forth. Yeah, he would actually be a really good right back, wouldn't he? Saying all of that, he doesn't want to join me. He'd rather focus on his studies. You know what? Fair enough. This is the high school division that Hashizume plays in as well. This feels like this is the good one. There is a guy here, Takashi Tsujikawa. This guy's good. 18 years old. He doesn't have a face. I've noticed recently with my Football Manager, regen faces have just stopped generating. It just shows blank faces. Has anyone else had this problem? If I get the regen face pack installed, he will then just be assigned a new photo face. He looks really, really good. Does he want to join me? No. No, he doesn't. I'll tell you what, when I get to J1, or at least a level where I can attract high school players, we're going to have the most cracked under-18s team, aren't we? I'm going to be trying to get my B team as far up the pyramid as I can. All of these players are so good. I feel like none of them, sadly, are going to want to join me. This guy does want to join me. He also wants £2,000. I can't pay that. Suzuki here looks good. 17 years old, right back? Question mark? Compare him. Compare him to Mitsuhashi. Oh, he's very good, isn't he? I need this guy. I want this guy. His contract's up at the end of the month, but he has no interest. Right, we'll get a scout report. I feel like I'm going to be leaving loads of transfer business late until the end of January, then hoping in the kind of 2.5 weeks between the end of January, start of February, and the start of the year, that a load of these players being released go on to be released, and then I can actually maybe sign them. My scouts right now are definitely earning their wages, aren't they? Even this guy, Wataru Hatta, looks like a decent little goalkeeper. The team that have won the under-18s kind of National League the last couple of years is JF Academy Fukushima. Their key man is this guy. He's good, isn't he? He's very good. Does he want to join us? No, of course he doesn't. I kind of feel like maybe I should just scout their entire team just to be safe. Granted, it is 39 players, but it's probably worth it. We've got the budget to do some scouting. Apparently, I've already got some of their players scouted, and apparently, some of them are actually quite good. I don't know if I necessarily agree with these assessments, but I feel like I need to scout the rest of their team to be safe. Now I'm just looking at previous university tournament winners just to see if they've got any players worth considering. Their vice-captain and captain are 16-year-olds. They're both awful. I mean, that is underwhelming, isn't it? Why are all the good players at all these different teams just strikers? Why can't there be some defenders here? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to scout all these different players from all the top performing teams year on year, but at the same time, like, can some of them just have defenders? I was going to say, like, this guy, he's 24 and he's garbage. Okay, I've got an annoying little situation here where I went to make a bid on Nakagawa and then I realised that his contract was up, but I might have to pay compensation. So I then made a bid of £100,000. But because I initiated the talks, I can't now hit continue without actually discussing a contract with him, which has seemingly broken the... Is the game okay? I don't know what's going to happen here when I hit continue. Presumably they're going to accept that transfer offer. They have done. Does he now still want to talk to us? Okay, he does still want to talk to us. This is good. He only wants to be a breakthrough prospect. He wants 1,500... Sorry, what? He's on £1 a week. He's... What are expectations? 250 to 350 pounds. I then make a bid and he wants one. I mean, it's just not happening, is it? It's just not happening. Still getting offers on players like Ataki, my existing centre-backs. I literally can't sell him. He's one of 3 centre-backs at the club. I'm now being informed that Ariyoshi has had a bid from a J2 team on him. This 18-year-old is a player I've got scouted. He is actually interested in joining us as a star player. He wants £2,000 a week and a load of release clause stuff. He's good. He's a striker. I don't need strikers. He's not worth the money he's asking for. You know what the worst thing is? Nakagawa, who just asked for like £2,000, he's got another offer from Kriakau, our former rivals, or Kriasau, I think is how it's said. They're in J3. If they now go on to sign him, I'm going to be fuming. Oh yeah, I forgot I decided to scout all the North Korean players. This guy's apparently maybe good. I mean, actually, he is very good, isn't he? Does he have any... Is he interested in joining us? He's interested. Ri Kuk-yeon. He's got really good vision, teamwork, passing and technique. But then when you start looking at everything else, it is lacking, isn't it? Quite a lot. Any other good players here? There is this guy here who plays... Does he play for the university team I've just scouted? I think he does. I mean, he's 18 years old. He does look quite solid, doesn't he? Does he want to join us? Extremely doubtful. I'm beginning to realise that sending my scouts to North Korea when I needed a right back probably wasn't the most optimal use of their time. I think, and I hate the fact I'm thinking that this is going to be the player, I think my priority has to be to get to the end of the month, see what players get released, and then try and find some signings from there. There's a few very good players that I've identified and I have got being manually scouted, but they're not going to consider joining us right now. Maybe if they get released, then they will reconsider. It's not like we're short on different options that have been scouted and recommended for me. I just feel like rather than rush into making any kind of decision, signing players right now, patience might be the play. I'm going to be leaving things up to the wire. It means that players are going to miss out on pre-seasons, but there's no one jumping out at me as a kind of, oh my gosh, I have to sign them kind of player. It's definitely a bold transfer strategy, but given the fact there's no transfers going on right now, I feel like it's a logical point to conclude the episode today. Just a little bit of a heads up, the next transfer special will probably be dropping on Monday. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a video that's a bit overdue, discussing all the FM25 stuff that's been announced so far, kind of my general thoughts and opinions on it. I've had a lot of people asking me about that. On top of that, next week, F1 Manager is going to come out, so just a little bit of a heads up that the start of the next season might be kind of a little bit spotty in terms of that there might not quite be episodes to the same consistency you're used to. That's not meaning the series is going on a pause or anything. Just F1 Manager's going to be coming out next Tuesday. I will be streaming it over on Twitch. If you've never watched the F1 Manager stuff before, I really recommend it. It's really good fun. It's a bit of a change of pace too. Anyway, today has been a bit of a marathon recording session. I really hope you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, if you have done, go down below, leave a like, tell your friends, let me know what you think of the transfer business done so far. Am I an idiot? Gambling on the fact players are going to be available at the end of the month. Is it a bold strategy? I feel like one of the things that's leading me towards this idea is the fact that whilst I have demoted a load of players down to the B team, I could always promote them if we need to plug a few gaps that we can't quite fill before the season starts. The squad itself is looking like it's in a good little position. Ono is a massive addition at left back. I'm hoping we can find some players as good as this guy. That would be the dream next time. Anyway, that is everything from me today. Thank you so much for watching today's transfer special. We are back on Monday with more action. I'll see you guys for it then. Until next time, it's me, Jack. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.